we'll continue to tell ourselves the bitter truth as Northerners. Since 1999, while Western region were building their region and developing their region, in the North we are promoting religion intolerance, religious fanaticism, religious extremism, and religious bigotry. And today we have turned the northern region to become like Somalia, when Lagos GDP is more than the GDP of 19 northern states. Look at today, the richest black man on earth, Aliko Dangote, all his investments are in the west in Lagos. Isia Karabi of Bua, his investments are in Lagos. Because in the west they have built themselves, they have capacity, they have knowledge, they have tenacity to run bigger organizations. But in the north, we have actually raised terrorists, killing everybody in the north, and the north today has become like Somalia. And let me assure those, tax reform of grandpa in the villa has come to stay. We cannot be expecting to be destroying our region and expect another region to be funding us through the kind of federal system, which is a scam. That money will come from another region to develop our region. That money will soon cease, because the grandpa in the villa is actually out to restructure Nigeria and to bring about tax reform.
As a northerner, when images like these are used to portray the North, how do you feel? Do you feel it's normal, it's appropriate? Because when you argue with the portrayal of society, it's like standing in front of a mirror and arguing that, look, this spot is not there, the mirror is lying. It takes some sort of foolishness to do that. Now, when I make these videos and center my focus on a particular region, I am not doing it for purpose of mockery or for purposes of sending messages that mock or ridicule the region. But I do these messages with the hope that it can attract some sort of introspection tone that will lead into some sort of awareness that maybe could lead to some kind of change. Because we are a country where some people want to grow, some people don't want to grow, and they call it contentment. Well, I call it laziness. The idea that certain people are born to be rich and certain people are born to be poor, it's retrogressive. It's really, really retrogressive. And your politicians have benefited a lot from this retrogression, and it's time it changed. Nobody is born to be rich and nobody is born to be poor. Your success or failures are determined by the effort you put into life. Well, some might say by the grace of God. Well, let me add that. But nobody is destined to be poor and nobody is destined to be rich. It is this dependence that your survival depends on the rich that makes certain people control you. I've made examples, countless examples on countless videos. Delta State and Kebbi State were created on the same day. Go to Delta State and go to Kebbi State. They are you don't, in fact, comparing Delta State and Kebbi State is an insult to development in Kebbi State. But even if they cut another part in the south and create the state today and create another part, it will still the same thing, because the idea of competition is not there. The idea to embrace Western education is not there. I'm not saying Western education is good or better, but education, at least, whether it's Arabic education or Western education, provided the education leads to creativity, leads to production, leads to enhancement, and most of all, leads to rationalization. We cannot continue like this. I am sure when you go to the market, the prices that greets you don't speak Hausa, don't have a religion, and don't have a region, because it is what it is. So why do you still believe that the religion should be protected more than a desire to be developed. I'm not saying you should sacrifice your religion for your development. But if religion and development cannot go hand in hand, then there's something, let me take that again. If the religion is what is hindering development, that means there's something wrong with the religion, or there's something wrong with the way you are practicing the religion. Man's natural instinct is to develop. From the day you are born, when you cry, it's because you want milk. When you suck the milk, when you suck your mother's breast, it's because you want to feed. So man has a need right from the day he was born. To have children that you don't care for, you don't plan for, you don't school them, you don't give them skills, and on top of this emptiness, you teach them to hate, you teach them to destroy, you teach them to cheat, you teach them all forms of negativity. I mean, what type of society are we evolving? If we are a country, then we must learn to tolerate one another. We must learn to give to one another. We must learn to build a society where there is fairness, there is justice, and most of all, respect for one another, irrespective of your religion, irrespective of your population, irrespective of your beliefs, irrespective of your race, tribe, and color. But this is not a Nigeria that I see that is ready to grow. I beg you, these youths, these people that you are growing their population every day in the north. Yes, you say population the north have the population, you have the population. But I've asked the question, what type of population do you have? Is it quality population or illiterate population? Now, it is dangerous to build a society of illiterate population. Now, illiteracy does not mean the lack of Western education. Literacy is the ability to read and write in whatever language. But not just reading and write, you should be able to profound theories that can be executed, leading to the betterment of human lives. Education should lead you to invent. Education should lead you to decide rationally. But where religion takes you to a place where you lose your reasoning and you lose your rationalization, then religion is more of a hindrance to you than development. My name is Magnus Oraka. Please follow this page and share this post now.
Me, I don't like sitting on the fence. So I like saying things the way it is. This one where I talk, it go pain some people, but the question is, when it pain you, you should equally do justice to yourself and sit down and ask yourself the question, why they pain you? You see, the fact is, we can't be deceiving ourselves. We can't be lying to ourselves that we are one Nigeria on paper, but in practicality, we are not. The fact is, we're divided across ideologies. There are 3 dominant ideologies in Nigeria as a country, which is not new, which is not strange to what you find in other countries as well. And I equally feel that the government will do more justice to this in order for we to have the full manifestation of these ideologies. And what can the government do? The fact is, I still stand and insist that, please, President Tinubu, help us with regional system of government. Because by the time you help us with regional system of government, one of the conversations we're not having is the fact that there will now be full-blown manifestation of these ideologies. Not a situation where we claim to be one Nigeria on paper, but in reality we are not. And forget, these ideologies we are talking about is not something that will change over time. It's not something I see it changing very soon. I'm telling you, beginning to feel it's impossible for these ideologies to change. What is the regional system of government going to bring? Just like I said, the full-blown manifestation of these ideologies. Let's have a situation, because let's look at it. The regions are going to be formed according to ideologies, right? And the ideologies will equally inform the policies and the laws of that region to some certain extent. So when you look at it now, when you decide to have the North as a region on its own, the North will make policies and laws according to its ideologies, and nobody will fight that. That is to say, if an Igbo man now decide to go to the North to do business, you will know that he's coming to a different region, and this region now, possibly they feel say, they know they sell alcohol here, they know they do other things they feel like doing, so he will not be hot. Anybody that is preparing, any Igbo man that is preparing to go to that region now will prepare his mind. And there will not be anything like one Nigeria, they are cheating me, they are treating me bad. And at the same time, any person that is equally traveling to from the North to the East, you equally know that possibly they will make laws like we don't allow things like open grazing here. Open grazing is not our thing. You cannot dress tattered. We don't allow babambola here. And at the same time, possibly even some laws in regards, possibly they may decide to say in short, we don't, this is our own regional religion. Just like the North may equally do this is their own regional religion or whatever at the same time. And at the same time, the Yoruba man too, well, the fact is I just see, basically, when you divide these things across these regions, you get to see the manifestation of these regional ideologies, which is to that of the North now. Possibly we'll see the manifestation of something like maybe Afghanistan, Iraq, and possibly when you come to the Yorubas now, we'll now see the manifestation of like the United States, because it's a liberal region. It's accommodating and is founded on the principle of a Yoruba man first. On the part of the Igbo man again, we may see the manifestation of maybe something like Israel, because let's tell ourselves the truth. These are the representation of these ideologies to me, and as such, anybody, just like I said, moving to these regions will know this is what to expect. Unlike the Nigeria you have now, that when you when something happens, you say, boy, you say we are one Nigeria and you are doing this, and one Nigeria doesn't allow that. If any other region decide to say, okay, like anybody that blaspheme is normal to unalive him, fine. You should know that when you're going to these regions, you don't blaspheme or you don't do that. Though the fact is the government could have done something in curtailing this, but the fact is, let's tell ourselves the truth, the government is overwhelmed. That is just the fact. And when people come out now to make such videos, a lot of people take hot feelings and say, oh, he's talking about our region, oh, he doesn't like us or whatever. That is just the basic truth. Though in so doing again, there are regions that, there are other ideologies that are silent. That is like, in regards this, the minority in the North. The government will have to do that as well. I possibly feel there is need for creation of possibly the middle belt, because the middle belt cannot be fully affiliated or represented as being representing what the far North ideology stands for. That is the fact. And when you come to the East and the South now, there seems to be a little bit of problem as well. Though the fact is, I believe those problems are workable, but if they are not workable, give them their own regions too. So possibly you have the East manifesting as Israel, and maybe you may have some other parts manifesting as Colombia. I no talk name now, you know who they manifest as Colombia. But in as much as it sounds like a joke, that is the reality. Let's tell ourselves the truth. We are only one Nigeria on paper. Regional system of government will address that. Me, my side, you go say, we know the real cow. You cannot bring your cow and be walking around here. Me, my side, religion. It doesn't matter how you do, everybody must be respected. That is just me, in my own side, my own religion. This is the only religion recognized, and this is the law we are going to use in ensuring that that religion becomes the regional ideology. Fine. Everybody have his peace, and anybody that is not okay with whatever the region he is stands for, can actually migrate to other regions and do business wherever he feels like doing it. What is the big deal there? Let's not be deceiving ourselves and be telling ourselves we're one Nigeria. At the end of the day, things are just getting bad. That is just it. I don't sit on the fence.
Welcome back to Local Journal, my people. You see, anytime I see a Northerner coming out to admit the fact that their region is actually the problem of this country, I'm always excited. Thank God they are beginning to realize the lies of their leaders and to know the truth. You know, their leaders have been hiding the truth away from them all this while, and they've been using religion to cover up and to do all their dirty stuffs and dirty games. But thank God it's no longer game as usual, as the Northerners are beginning to come out to tell the truth to the world and to accept the fact that the North is the problem. We need regional government as soon as possible, because a regional system of government is only the system that will make us achieve what we're supposed to achieve as a country. There is no way Nigeria can prosper as a country under the system of government, because this country is too big for one person to control. And the major problem we're having in this country currently now is the problem of insecurity, which we know comes from one particular region and from one ethnic group. Aside this problem, the bulk of problem we are facing in this country comes from the north. That is the reason why we need to divide this country, or we need to go back to the regional system of government, so that the North will not be suffering for the sins of the South, and the South will not be carrying the sins of the North on their head. Everybody should face their own region squarely and develop their own region squarely at their own pace. So this is my own opinion on this issue. Kindly drop what you have to say in the comment section, and if today is your first time to visit our channel, please kindly like, share and subscribe to our channel.